Today I'm out here on this 2024 Kawasaki ZX-10R KRT Edition. Now guys, I've never ridden this bike before, but after today's ride, I should have a much better idea of what this thing is all about. You guys stay tuned for the end of the video. I'll give it a chase score. I'm ChaseOnTwoWheels, and this is a first ride. My goodness gracious, and that is a stock exhaust. That thing sounds amazing. You know what else sounds amazing? Listening to your cool tunes with your Cardo in your helmet. Check it out, discount code for Cardo's right over there. But you might not need it with that. God dog. Alright guys, that's what it looks like, and that's what it sounds like. Now, before we get on this motorcycle, we have to thank the sponsor of this video, which is this cool little camera I'm using to film today.
Insta360 just released their Marc Marquez collaboration version of their Ace Pro 2, which is a camera I've been using to motovlog for the last couple months now. It's absolutely fantastic. But obviously you get this cool little box. I want to get this thing unboxed and see what comes inside. Oh, what a presentation. Oh, that's pretty sick. Oh, nice. Oh, it actually looks different. Okay, cool. So obviously we get the Ace Pro 2, but this one's a little different than the one I use. We've got the Marc Marquez logo here, his number 93 on the little microphone guard here, and we have his number 93 here on the shutter button, as well as little red accents here on the side. That is actually really cool. Next up, we have two of the kind of adhesive mounts. These things work fantastic for going on your bike literally anywhere, and the cool thing about them, you can bend them into really weird areas. They work way better than the traditional attachments you can get for action cameras. Next up, it is coming with two batteries. The battery life on this thing is good, but having two batteries is all you need for an entire day. Then we have... Oh, awesome. So this is the helmet mount that you can just use to attach to the front of any helmet. So these little areas here bend and kind of it contours to your helmet. This is a fantastic option if you don't want to permanently mount something to your helmet. And with these little clips that go on the inside, you know that your camera is not going to go anywhere. This thing is way nicer than it used to be. Insta360's definitely upgraded this. Obviously, as you guys can see, this kit comes with everything you need to throw the camera on your helmet or on your motorcycle somewhere and start recording your rides right now. And if you're a big Marc Marquez fan, this thing is a required grab.
Alrighty guys, that's it for the ad. Now let's get on this thing and check it out. So, I'm 5'10", got a 32-inch inseam, and surprisingly, as you guys can see, I've got bent legs on a Super Sport, which is absolutely fantastic. Normally you wouldn't be able to touch the ground with these things, but I think because the way the tank kind of contours to the end and then the front of the seat is a little thin, it really allows you to get your feet on the ground. So if you're looking for a top level Super Sport and you're a little shorter, this might be a fantastic bike to check out. Let's get the bike cranked up. You guys can see we are in rain mode currently. If I hold the mode button and go up, we will go to road mode. If we go up one more time, we go into sport mode. So you guys know we're going to start the video in rain mode as we always do. And you guys are here to watch me ride motorcycles. So allow me to ride the motorcycle. Oh, by the way, we do have a Onto Crew email newsletter. We email you guys once a week letting you guys know what's going on around the channel, because YouTube doesn't do shit for letting you guys know the videos that we come out with. So Join the email list, join the On2 crew, and I'll see you in your inbox once a week. Let's take it for a ride. Alrighty, ZX-10 in rain mode. The most pointless situation ever on a beautiful day like this. Man, I've been riding a lot of sporty bikes lately. We were on the V4S Panigale the other day. We got the ZX-10 today. Please nobody kill me. What's up, other Kawasaki guy? You sporty bike fans are just having a good old time with all the first rides, huh? Alrighty guys, it's the first ride. Let's talk about body position. So guys, being on a top level super sport, you would expect nothing less than a very aggressive body position. As you guys can see, my legs are very tucked up and underneath me. We've got a mediumly hard seat underneath us. My upper body is really the surprise on this bike. Generally with Kawasaki's and Suzuki's, normally you would sit lower in the motorcycle and be a little more comfortable, whereas Honda and Yamaha, you sit more up on the bike and you're a little more uncomfortable, but it's more racy. But with the ZX-10 here, the seat's a little higher than I expected, and I'm leaned over more than I expected. So I expected it to be an aggressive body position. I did not expect it to be this aggressive of a body position. But that being said, this bike is a race focused motorcycle. You are supposed to be in the position to be in the most advantageous angles you possibly can, and Kawasaki is definitely delivering on that. Normally I would change modes. I'm going to off throttle and go up into road mode, and we're now in road mode since we didn't get our little mode change light. So guys, speaking of Kawasaki being on top of things, the thing that is powering the ZX-10 is Kawasaki's 998cc inline 4, good for 196 horsepower, 83 foot-pounds of torque, and the bike is coming in at a wet weight of 456 pounds. That's wet weight ready to go. And then it has a glorious 4.1 gallon gas tank. You're welcome for all the stats. Now guys, as far as city performance with the ZX-10, none of you guys are going to be surprised, but this thing, not the most ideal motorcycle for city riding. Being so far leaned over, it is really hard to get a good understanding of what's going on around you because your head is leaned forward so much. It's hard to look over your shoulders. So because of that, you're not really able to get the best view around you. And coming to stops like this is a little annoying because your legs are so perched up. You have to lift out of a yoga position to get your legs on the ground. So that becomes annoying in really slow stop and go traffic. Another one of the things that's going to be less than advantageous is the profile of the engine. An inline 4, especially at almost 1000 cc inline 4, these things are going to take some revs to get going because they're so horsepower heavy. Because of that, you're going to not really have that instantaneous power to jump around traffic. So you just got to be a little more methodical about your stuff. So once you get revved up, the thing's going to go like a rocket ship. But when you're in lower RPMs, like you're going to be in traffic, you're just not really able to take advantage of that power. So you got to be a little more methodical, or you just have to ride in a really low gear for what you're doing. I will say one thing I appreciate are the mirrors on this bike. They seem to be able to get in a really nice position where I can get them looking behind me. I have to angle them a little more towards me than I originally expected, but once you get them in the right spot, they actually work pretty decently, especially for a super sport. I kind of expected the mirrors to be garbage and damn near pointless, but not really finding that to be the case. Will we get the green? We will. Let's get her leaned over. Doesn't take too much revving to get into that power band, I will say that. One of the things that is actually a little surprising on city streets with the ZX-10 is the maneuverability. Now, don't get me wrong, you're still in an aggressive body position, you still have clip-ons, it still does take a lot of energy to get the bike kind of jumping around in the lane, and it's not going to do anything incredibly quick. But one of the things I've been kind of surprised with this bike is how stable this bike feels to the ground going regular city speeds. I've done nothing crazy on this thing, and I just get a very locked on to the ground, very stable feeling out of this bike that it is so much to the fact that I noticed it. I think that would be expected from a lot of bikes, but very rarely do I notice it on a bike when I'm riding around. we were doing the camera car run, and I was sitting there thinking to myself, bro, everywhere I'm going, I feel just locked to the ground, like with glue here. And it's been honestly like super impressive. So that's normally not there on a super sport. Normally with a super sport, you got to get some speed under you and then things start feeling like they're coming into place. But the ZX-10 has been off the go even in city traffic. So that's been really cool. Another thing that I hope is really cool is sport mode. We are now going to be changing into the sport power mode, which should give us all the beans. We're currently in road mode. I'm going to hold this button up for about 3 years, and sport mode. There we are. Don't worry, we'll talk about the screen and the menus later in the video. This 40 to 80 pull is going to be interesting because I don't know if 40 miles an hour is enough to really get the power laying down on this bike. But we're going to find out. It's going to happen quick regardless, I'll tell you that. All right, we got nobody behind us, so we're going to back off a little bit. Lexus is going through this, right? Okay. All righty, guys, I got a job to do. Everybody wants to know how fast the 2024 Kawasaki ZX-10R KRT Edition will go from 40 miles an hour to 80 miles an hour. Naturally, we all want to know this. And today we're going to find out. I wonder if I'll have to leave first gear. All right. On your mark. Get set. Go. Oh no, I went to second. Sorry. I f***ed that up. On your mark. Get set. Go. That's 80. God bless America. Woo! What was the damn time on that? Holy shit. Can you imagine if I would have done that short shift to second? That would have ruined everything. All right, glad I didn't. What was our time? Cool. I told you it was going to be fast. And I would have hit 80 in first gear. I didn't have to shift, but you know, progressing up through the gears is natural as a rider. Alrighty guys, we're here on the highway with the ZX-10. No surprise, a lot of wind on me. Wind starting to hit me about low chest. If I scoot back in the seat and I lean forward, I get the wind going over my helmet very nicely. So in a race position, and you're going down a straight, you're gonna get plenty of wind protection when you need it. I will say, sorry, my voice is still coming back, guys. I will say that stability is maintained here on the highway. Obviously on every motorcycle, when you start putting some speed underneath you, it's gonna naturally be harder to go left and right, but the bike still feels incredibly stable on the highway and just tracks in a line incredibly well. I love that. Also, surprise, surprise, this is a super sport that comes with cruise control. Yay, we love it. Thank you for adding cruise control, Kawasaki. But the big question is, can I rotate that throttle forward and it disengage? Yes, I can. Look at that, Kawasaki putting cruise control on super sports. Thank you, I appreciate that. Also, you got other controls to go up and down on the cruise control. You know, guys, honestly, not that terrible from a touring aspect for the ZX-10. The seat's relatively comfortable. Yeah, my legs are crunched up and I'd probably need to stop and stretch after a little while, but with cruise control and I'm in a body position like this and just super comfortable, I'll put it this way. I would not hate to ride this motorcycle for an hour and a half to get me to the mountains where I could ride fun roads. I'll put it that way. Also, just so we're clear, we're in 6th gear going 75 in sport mode, and the bike will still throw you back throttling it up. Shocker, I know. A 998cc inline 4 with 196 horsepower will throw you back in the seat. Oh, there's a big truck. I can get in front of that big truck and we can actually do the turn with some speed. That's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna blur the speedo for a second. All right, little Cam, it's okay. Everything's fine. Are we about to take this turn in 2nd gear? Gee, many Christmas. Bro, the stability of this bike, I love. I feel so confident, so comfortable just leaning the bike over and have full confidence that I'm gonna be where I need to be with the suspension. That felt fantastic. What lane do we need to be in? Please don't nobody get in this lane. Nobody get in this lane. Okay, we're good. wow. This is a bigger bike. This is not a bike that should be ridden by people that don't know what they're doing. Get in road mode. There we go. This is not a play around bike. This is a big boy with a lot of power. And I am surprised with how stable it feels. That suspension, it's got that big piston Showa front forks. And I guess that's what's giving me that stability, man, but I love those. They are adjustable here at the top, and they work great. I love the suspension Kawasaki has on this ZX-10. Absolutely fantastic, especially for those sportier situations. And I'm now thinking about it, and the ride, even on the road, has been relatively comfortable. So you're not getting like that super hard suspension that makes you feel dialed, but you feel every little bump and every little crevice in the road. The bike has been overall relatively comfortable to ride, so that's a really nice balance to hit, especially with how good it felt on the big turn, so that's great. So yeah, suspension great. Power is pretty ridiculous, as you guys would expect on this bike. I will say the throttle feels a little, it has an on and off area in the very beginning of throttle on. So when there's nothing, there's a little stronger engine braking, though you can change engine braking in the settings. But when I throttle on a little bit, I get a little bit of a hit, regardless of how smooth I'm trying to be on throttle. So the throttle is not as smooth as it otherwise could be. But once you get into the throttle, the power delivery is really nice. So it's just that little bit of on throttle that I think could be a little smoothed out. Are we stable here? We're stable there. Okay, cool. We're a little cockeyed and crooked on that front camera, but that's okay. That's okay. I will say they have this this bike. The bike's clutch engages like instantly. I would, if I owned this bike, I would adjust a little bit to get it farther out. So guys, one thing I do want to talk about that's kind of been a shining light on the ZX-10 as I've been riding it is the quick shifter. Now, I've ridden the quick shifter in the rain mode, in the road mode, and the sport mode. And I don't know if I can do this to where I can show you guys, but I'm going to do a slight throttle on, and I'm going to quick shift. Do you guys see my body? There is a very obvious pause in power as it shifts up to the next gear. I don't like that at all. Like once it gets into the gear, it gets into the gear well, but there's just this very obvious power cut. The bike shifts, and then the power comes back on. And it just adds a lot of disruption to the motorcycle. I mean, so much to the fact that, you know what I mean, it throws me forward a little bit. I don't really love that. I wish there was some sort of smoother actuation of the quick shifter on this bike, especially on a bike this big of a deal. Like, this is a serious bike with a lot of serious power. And a quick shifter, kind of influencing the geometry of the motorcycle, I could really see being a hindrance if you're really trying to dial in your laps and stuff like that. So don't really love that. One of the things I do love is the brakes on the front. We have a Brembos with a Brembo master cylinder, and you get a fantastic, a little bit light power in the beginning, which I love that. It allows me to really dial in how much I want. And then if I go past that smooth area, they bite, which is perfect. That means I can do fine-tune adjustments on the front if I need to, but then if I really need to scrub speed, just keep pulling that brake in. You're really going to get a good feel out of it. I will say the rear brakes are almost pointless. I don't know if this bike has 1,000 miles on it. It's not necessarily brand new, but the rear brakes just don't seem to be there. I wish they were a bit stronger. They are not Brembos from what I understand, so just something to note. Let's talk more about the controls up here. We do have this Olin steering damper, which I absolutely love to see that. It's really nice, going to help you with any sort of speed, stability, and stuff like that. The controls are okay. They feel, I don't know, the bike's 18 grand, so it's not like a premium bike, but I would like to see a little nicer material used for the controls. The buttons are fine. There's nothing really to write home about. And the screen, I feel like, is very tiny for the motorcycle for some reason. It seems far away and small. I wish it was a little larger. And the screen doesn't look bad. It shows me all the information that I need. I do wish it had a gas gauge. From what I've been able to do, I haven't been able to see a miles to empty yet. And maybe there's a setting in there that I'm just not seeing. That's totally the case. That could be the case, but I just wish it had a little more information. I do love that you can put max lean. I love that you can show your throttle input, your brake input. Little stuff like that's cool. And the quality's not bad. We are getting into a realm of motorcycles though where Kawasaki really needs to start looking into really giving us a nice screen and changing the way you use the bike. Kawasaki's, at least in my personal opinion, have a long way to go when it comes to the controls on their bike. There's too many press this, press and hold this. If you want to change the mode, it takes way too long to press and hold the mode button for a mode change to happen. If I want to change modes, I need to throttle off and I need to hit the mode button and the mode should change. I shouldn't have to throttle off, hold the button, and then the sport mode happen. That's 1 or 2 seconds. I know that sounds ridiculous, but if rain randomly started coming down and I needed to get into rain mode quickly, I want to be able to do like this. Throttle off, boom. That's what I want to be able to do. And Kawasaki's just a little behind in the overall scheme of the motorcycle market. They have a lot that they can do with their controls and with their screens, in my opinion. Look at that rear brake, man. I've got to put most of my weight on it for it to really like start slowing me down. Rear brake needs to be a little more, a little bitier. All right, good Lord, man, that was a lot. I thought I was gonna run out of time for a second. All right, guys, that's everything on the ZX-10. I think I touched on everything. So now let's jump over to the chase score and let's see how it plays out.
All right, guys, so let's do the chase score for the 2024 Kawasaki ZX-10R KRT Edition. Now, for throttle response, I'm going to give it a 6. There's some abruptness right at initial throttle, but it smooths out nicely after it's engaged. Now, for agility, I'm giving this thing an 8. It's stable and confident in corners, and it's flickable at speed despite its size. For brakes, I'm giving this thing a 9. These are top-tier Brembos with great feel and a powerful bike. Now, for acceleration, I'm giving this thing an 8. It's not snappy if you're not in the right rev range, but once it gets in the power band, this thing rips. Now, for suspension, I'm giving it a 9. This is the standout feature on this bike. The Showa setup feels locked on and razor sharp. Next up, we got comfort, and no shock for a Super Sport. It's getting a 3. It's aggressive Super Sport ergonomics, high pegs, low bars, firm seat, kind of what we all expect. Now for tech, I'm gonna give it a 7. It's got a great tech package under the hood, but it's held back by a poor interface design. Now for ease of use, I gotta give this thing a 4 because it's pretty much the biggest negative for most Kawasaki's out right now. The menus are just clunky and the mode change button takes literally 3 years to actually change the mode of the motorcycle. Now, for versatility, I'm actually going to give it a 5. This thing would be phenomenal on the track or fast in the canyon runs, no problem. But since it has cruise control, I could actually see doing light touring. So for a Super Sport, a 5 is pretty high. Now, for fun for the money, I'm going to give this bike a 7. Coming in at $18,000 for everything you get out of this thing, I think is a solid deal for the amount of performance you get from a Super Sport. So guys, that means the total ride score is a 40 and the total usability score is a 26, giving the ZX-10R KRT Edition a total chase score of 66.
All right, guys, that's the chase score for the ZX-10R KYT. You guys let me know if you agree with me or disagree with me in the comments down below. You guys don't have to believe me. We can have a conversation. I can be wrong. So guys, at the end of the day, the Kawasaki ZX-10, I gotta say, I really like this thing a lot. Obviously, I'm not in the real market for a Super Sport like this, but some of the things that stick out, power delivery is fantastic. As long as you can get past that initial on-offness of the throttle, and I've tried to be smooth and it's still there. So like, I wish that was a little different. But overall, power delivery, I really like. Love the suspension, love the front brake. Obviously, rear brakes are abysmal, and I love the way it looks. If you guys, I don't know how close of shots you guys have got to see of this bike, but the pearl in the white and the pearl in the frame look so good, especially contrasted with this blue that doesn't have the pearl in it. I think that makes it pop a little more. Overall, I kind of love this thing. And for 18 grand, it kind of seems like a phenomenal motorcycle to get. Yes, the controls are not that great. Yes, the menu navigation is a little slow and behind. But if I was gonna buy this motorcycle, dude, I'd be doing track stuff, I would be doing mountain stuff, and with the addition of cruise control on this bike, I would be having a great time because I could cruise control on the highway all the way up to the mountains and then ride my fun roads. This thing's solid, dude. Kawasaki's doing a great job. They got a couple small things that I think they can fix, but not maybe fix, but upgrade. And dude, if they did, this thing would be a beast. All right, so guys, to wrap this video up, big shout out to WOW Motorcycles for providing the motorcycle. WOW is actually the dealership that I got my first motorcycle at. So if you guys want to see a huge amount of inventory, check out WOW. We'll have a bike provided by link in the description down below. And guys, that's all I got on the ZX-10. What I would love if you guys could do is share this video out with somebody that you would love that would love a ZX-10. There's plenty of people out there that would. And you guys go out there and ride safe. I'm ChaseOnTwoWheels. If you got to this point in the video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you like motorcycle content, you know, all that YouTube that us YouTubers tell you guys in every single video. Legit, we tell you that every video for a reason. It actually helps us out a lot. Anyway, you guys are awesome. Go out there and ride safe and enjoy whatever bike you are on. And if you want to see a first try playlist, links in the description down below. ChaseOnTwoWheels out. Bye-bye.